Sharon. She's been a guest at our house for the last 5 days since Wednesday, and this is Monday morning. And she wanted to tell you about her experience as our guest. And so, what do you have to say, Kathy?
Sharon.
Sharon.
I hope I get through this without calling you Jeanette.
Yeah.
I've been calling her Jeanette all week.
1, 2, 3. So how was your visit, Sharon?
It was a lot different and more than I expected. It was a lot more than I expected. I thought my purpose in coming here was to spend a lot of time in the kitchen and learn how to use all of your power tools. Kitchen power tools. But it turned out to be a vacation, a memorable vacation where we took hikes, we visited national parks, we hiked in caves and behind waterfalls, and just a wonderful experience altogether. It was more than just spending time in the kitchen and eating good food.
And what kind of changes do you plan on making?
Well, when I came, I already was limiting my food to vegan, to just non-animal products, except on Saturday. I always had my cheating day on Saturday. And I found that a lot of your recipes are so unique, so much like the rich foods that I would eat when I was cheating. Like a lot of the things that you create with your blender, the ice cream, which was unbelievable. You have to try the ice cream. It was, and the nut butters and things like that. That would be my cheating day when I would eat things like that from dairy products. But now, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to treat myself on that day that I normally would cheat by using some of your recipes that you taught, some of your recipes that involve some of your power tools in the kitchen. And so then I'll be more exclusively eating non-animal products in my diet.
And how were the accommodations?
They were first rate. The rooms, each of the rooms, now I brought my sons, I brought my 2 adult sons who were very courageous to come with me because they do not eat this way normally. And they've spent 5 days eating vegan, just healthy, whole foods, and they're still alive, they're still strong, and they have a good attitude, and they went on all the hikes with us. But we each had our own. My sons had a room, and I had a room, and each room has its own, it's like a suite. It has its own beautiful restroom, and it's like built for couples or families because there's 2 sinks and 2 places to bathe in each of the rooms, and clean, bright, cheerful, sunny. It's like a hotel. The rooms are just beautiful. It also led to this feeling of a vacation. It felt like I was staying in a nice hotel, eating nice food, except I got to help in the preparation, take notes, watch very carefully while Janine was preparing food in the kitchen. My sons even got in there and made some help with the pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, what a pizza, that was great. Oh, the cheese. The cheeses are unbelievable.
Even your hardcore sons enjoyed the cheese.
They did. They did. The pizza was great. And then also that ice cream that I mentioned earlier was just, I don't know, we had a contest with our blenders. I brought my blender from home. Janine has her blender. Mine lost nearly every competition, and that's okay because I needed to know what it was capable of. What Janine does with a blender, I don't think the typical person does. And I would encourage anyone who comes to your retreat to bring their power tools from their kitchen, bring their blender, bring their food processor, whatever they use, and have it work side by side with yours to see if they can get the same results. Because if they're going to take these ideas back home and implement them, they need to know that whether or not they have the right equipment. And if you publish those on your website, people who haven't committed to buy a certain product, they can see how the different brands compare in side-by-side tests. I'll probably be returning mine because I kept the receipt and it's brand new and it failed almost the most important test, it wasn't doing well. So I'm going to keep shopping around. But I think it would be nice if all of your visitors would bring their own power tools and compare them like that and share that with everyone.
Did you learn a lot?
Yes, this was an educational experience too, because we got to watch videos about nutrition and lifestyle, and John has a lot of information from his work in occupational therapy, and Janine, of course. I think the most valuable thing about Janine is her creativity in the kitchen, how she goes in there and she experiments until she gets the right flavor. And I took notes about everything. I have a list of all these different ingredients that I wasn't even aware of, and different ideas that I'm going to implement when I get home. And now and then Janine's writing this cookbook that is just full of her life's work. I would imagine it was your life's work of gathering and testing all of these different recipes. And I felt like, because you explained how the creative process works for you, if something doesn't quite taste right, you'll just try it again with a different ingredient. Oh, maybe this would be better. I felt that it gave me some level of creativity when I use this in my own home, in my own kitchen. I'm going to use your ideas, but maybe I'll tweak them a little bit. Maybe I'll put a little ingredient here, a little. I feel like I've been given the license to be creative, because that's how you discovered these things. And I also like the fact that I learned a lot in a spiritual sense, because this is a whole experience. This is not just your exercise and your eating. This is also about your spiritual health, and it is optional. You invited us to join you in your morning time together of reading and singing, and it was not something that all my children participated in because they didn't care to. Well, some days they did, some days they didn't. And so no one forces anything on you, but if you want to, there's another area of your life that can be developed while you're here and rejuvenated while you're here.
And how about the field trip to the grocery store?
The field trips were one of the best parts of the whole 5 days that we were here. The first field trip was to the grocery store, and then 2 produce markets, outdoor produce markets. And from the very moment that we started, I started learning about shopping, things that I didn't know, the type of thing to look. I was looking one place on the label. Janine and John taught me, no, there's somewhere else that you're not looking that is more important. I'm not going to say what it is so that you'll come to the retreat and find out. But it's so simple. It's almost ridiculous how simple it is to choose the right kind of foods. And then we went to the fruit market, and it was it's very rural out here compared to where I live. So it was very refreshing, like being immersed in a different culture. When we were in the city and at the grocery store, that I'm accustomed to. That's what I do all the time at my home. And I can use that at my home, but then the fruit markets were like a cultural experience. Little Mayberry RFD. I felt like I was walking downtown looking at the barber shops and the different structures in this little town. And the other field trips out in nature, if I could mention, I don't think we did the same activity twice. In 5 days, I don't think we did the same activity more than once. This place is huge, this property that they have, the campus. So we would take a hike in one direction one day, and then later we take a hike in a different direction. And you can hike for a long time around this property, and there's a stream down below, a little stream down below here on the property. And then another time we went into the National Forest, which is adjacent to the property, and we went hiking to a waterfall, and we had a beautiful time there. And then the next day, we go driving a little short distance, and now we're in another part of a national park looking at the sequoias. And then another day, we're out at Kings Canyon tracking through a cave of stalactites, and it was just, if that was the only thing we did, just take those hikes and those nature walks and those activities out here in nature, it would have made the time worthwhile coming out here. And to do it with people who are native to this area made it even more enriching. They were, John and Janine, you guys were offering all this information that we wouldn't have had unless we paid a tour guide to take us on these trips. and enjoying it. They were enjoying it as much as we were. And our picnic lunch, twice we packed a healthy lunch and went out and ate out there in the park or out in the forest. So those were alone worth the visit.
Well, we enjoyed your visit as much as you did.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Try it.